interested in what we're going to discuss today with Mr. Tarik. How are you today?
I'm doing quite well. And yourself?
I'm very good. Thank you very much. So where are we going to start with this? Because this is very interesting, and I know a lot of people are going to be interested to know more about it.
Well, you know, it's a big topic. When I graduated from high school, I wasn't sure what I was going to study in university. And after a couple semesters, I chose to study economics and political science. But that didn't mean that when I graduated from university, I knew what kind of job I would be good at and I would enjoy. And I wish at the time there was someplace I could go to match me and my behavioral characteristics, the things that really motivate me with the job that I knew I was going to love for the rest of my life.
So eventually you ended up doing what you wanted to, like a tool that you were looking for before working.
That's exactly right. So what my company Infor did was build exactly that, which is to help students, whether you're going into university or going from university into the workplace, know what kind of role that you'd like and know what kind of match you are and whether you're going to be good at it or not particularly good at it, whether you're going to enjoy it or not particularly enjoy it, because those things are really the difference between having a good career, and we spend so much of our time at work that 40, 50 hours a week, that not enjoying our job is not good for anyone.
Exactly. I know a lot of people use LinkedIn these days to find a job, or maybe for companies even to find employees. What's the difference between LinkedIn and what you're offering, and what is it exactly?
LinkedIn is a really good social site to allow the world, to know your skills, your certifications, your education. But when companies take on applications for any role, they usually have dozens, if not hundreds, or even thousands of applicants. And so both sides of the equation really need to take more data into effect. And so skills and intellectual quotient, or IQ, traditionally have been the attributes that both sides of the equation looked at. Now we can bring in emotional quotient, which is EQ, into the equation, and making sure that if you've got high energy versus low energy, great attention to detail versus not a lot of attention to detail, very ambitious versus medium ambitious, all those things will help me to choose as a graduating student whether I should go into marketing, whether I should go into logistics, whether I should go into finance, and it'll help companies and governments on the other side of the equation do exactly the same.
So how does N for Talent Science work exactly?
Well, you go on the website, and on that website you take about a 30-minute quiz, and that quiz is, there's no right answer or wrong answer, and you have to be honest with yourself, and the system is smart enough to know
if you're lying or
if you're not. So we take some 20 million applicants a year, go to the website itself, and so we have hundreds of millions in our database, and so we then apply science. And it's science that is patented over the last 10 years. It's state-of-the-art, using all of the latest and greatest techniques of algorithms. And it measures whether or not, what match you are to particular profiles, to particular roles.
Do you link it to the pulse as well, to know if the heartbeats are going up?
No, we don't.
How do you detect the energy then? Can you give me a demo of the questions, for example, that you're
a good question is it'll ask you for energy, for example. If a question may be something on the order of, if you could go to 3 meetings in one day versus 2 meetings in one day, what would you prefer? And then it'll give you different degrees of answers.
So there's not one correct answer. It all depends on building the character of the person who's actually applying.
Correct. We call that the behavioral DNA of a human being. And after
going too deep in this.
Exactly. And it really does help. The problem in general, and I would say as an HR professional, our discipline hasn't helped our candidates or incumbents, or has underserved both organizations, whether they're government organizations or private organizations, and it's underserved students and candidates as well by being completely an art. And almost every other discipline in business or in the personal world have now started to marry art, optimization, with the discipline itself to optimize it. So we call this talent science, and it can make a very big difference to both employers, who generally get less employee turnover or attrition. So if 30% of the people would leave every year before, after you start using a tool like that, maybe only 5 or 10% of the people leave, which is good for the employer. And it's good for the employee, because if you go in the wrong department or you get matched with the wrong team, you're not going to enjoy your job as much, you won't be able to progress as much, and you won't make as much money.